Hey guys, thank you so much for clicking on my video. This is the look I will be doing today, so if you want to see how I did it, then just keep on watching. Alright, let's get started. So this first product I'm going to be using is called Silk. It's a pore and wrinkle minimizer, and it also doubles as a primer. Brows are next, so I'm going to use my spoolie brush to brush out all those hairs and make sure they're nice and straight. I'm going to use a flat angled brush to apply my brows. I'm going to use the colors Garnet and Onyx, mix them together. When you're doing your brows, you want them to look more like the right eyebrow, the viewer's left. Viewer's right eyebrow, you can see I blended too much in the front part of the brow, and I went back and fixed that after I had watched this video because I didn't notice it just looking in the mirror, but you can see my right eyebrow looks much better and cleaner. This brush is pretty close to the one I just used, but it's a flat brush instead of the angled, and I'm just going to use this to apply concealer to the top of my brows, and I will go in and conceal the bottom of them once I have applied my eyeshadow. This color I'm using is Mullberry ShadowSense. Brush is a pointed blending brush and is what I'm using to apply the Mullberry ShadowSense to the crease of my eyelid. And if you notice, I'm holding the brush towards the end of the brush, that way my lines aren't quite as harsh and they're more blended out. The colors I'm going to be mixing together, they are Bronze BlushSense and Mullberry ShadowSense. I mixed them together and applied them right below the Mullberry. Next is Mullberry pre-mixed with Garnet. Since I'm going for a halo effect here, I'm only going to apply the Mullberry and Garnet to the outer V of my eyelid and the very inner corners of my eyelid, and I'm going to leave the center open. So I'm going to take this fluffy blending brush and blend out that Mullberry mixed with Garnet. And then the next colors I'm going to use are Rose Shimmer and Sandstone Pearl Shimmer. To apply shimmers, I like to use a flat brush, and you notice I'll pick up the color only on the belly of the brush and on one side. When applying shimmers, I like to use the press and slide method. You don't want to blend shimmers out too much or else you'll lose your pigmentation. And again, because I'm doing a halo eye, I'm only going to apply the shimmer to the center of my eyelid. Again, with my fluffy blending brush, I'm going to take the very outside corners of my shimmer and blend that in just a tiny bit to the other colors on the outside. I'm going to take my brush on the topical part of the shimmer and very, very lightly stipple it in. And bam, just like that, my other eye is done. And I'm going to go in with my eyeliner using Onyx ShadowSense. I like to use a really, really thin brush for this. In this one, you'll notice when I do my wing part, I will squeeze the brush to make it a little more pointed instead of rounded. Here I am using natural colored concealer. I am pretty horrible at wings, so I like to make my top line really straight, and then I will go in and fix the bottom line to make it very pointed and sharp like a wing should be. here is where I'm going to go in with my concealer on the under part of my brow since my eyeshadow is done now. And I'm going to bring my eyeshadow down just a little bit, as well as concealing that underside of my brow. Alright, let's move on to some foundation. This is our original foundation because I have oily skin, and I am using the color Dewy. You will notice I am using a beauty blender this time. This is the beauty blender SeneGence just released. I normally use a stippling brush, but I wanted to give this beauty blender a try. I was very surprised and very happy with this beauty blender, but at this point I think I'm still partial to a brush just because that's what I'm used to using. However, with this beauty blender, it's very dense, so it doesn't soak up your cream products or your liquid products like a beauty blender normally would, which is why I don't use them. And in a second, I will show you how little product was actually picked up by this beauty blender. Moving on to concealer. This is the color Natural in our original formula concealer. Here I am going to use a thin flat brush to apply the color Mullberry ShadowSense to the under part of my eyelashes. And now I'm going to take the color Pink Frost ShadowSense and apply it just to my waterline to make my eyes look brighter and bigger. Time for lashes. So you can see I've already put on false lashes. I used Ardell lashes. And I'm just going to use our LashSense to blend my natural eyelashes into the falsies and then on my bottom lashes. The time has come for contour, which is why I just made that silly little face. I use the color Chocolate Cherry BlushSense. As you can see, I'm struggling to get it out of the tube because this tube is almost completely empty. I use contour all around my forehead to kind of give my forehead a little bit of a glow. And then I do it on right under my cheekbones as well. And I will apply another color to the bottom of my cheekbones as well later. For highlight, I am using our pearlizer, which is one of our foundations. You can mix this with your foundation or just topically apply it like I am here. This brush is from the brand Crown. It's a blush brush, and that is what I'm going to use to blend in my highlight. This brush is the regular brush I would use for my foundation if I wasn't using a beauty blender. This is from BS Small, and you can get them on Amazon for pretty cheap. Now I'm going to go in with some Bronze BlushSense and apply it right over that chocolate cherry, right below my cheekbones to make them pop. This is the same brush I used for my contour. I'm just using the excess that was on the brush to contour my nose. For my lips, I'm going to use a layering combination of Praline Rose and Napa. The first color I'm going to apply is Praline Rose. Once Praline Rose has dried, I'm going to go in with Napa and do my second layer of that. And my third and final layer is again Praline Rose to kind of tone down that purple a little bit. And of course, what every lip sense needs, a nice glossy gloss to seal that color to make it last all day. And of course, there is nothing on my wand because LipSense is smudge-proof, budge-proof, waterproof, and kiss-proof. One last thing I forgot, I am going to set my face with our natural translucid powder. Here is the finished look, and I just want to thank you so much for watching my video. If you liked this one, hit that red button below and subscribe to my channel.